webquest was found to be so effective that it received 1999 Project IDEA, that is Identifying and Disseminating Educational Alternatives Award from the Delaware Department of Education and Early Childhood and Exceptional Children Group. A webquest should contain 6 parts, better known as the building blocks. These building blocks are the tightly formatted internet lessons which leaves very little chance for the learners to get distracted or being exposed to the inappropriate websites. These are introduction, task, process, resources, evaluation and conclusion. Now follows the brief description of each of these. Introduction. It sets the stage and provides background information. The orientation provides a kind of a scenario that engages the learner in the task. It should be imaginative and relevant to the learner's need and interest. The task is the description of what the learners need to be accomplished by the end of the webquest project. The problem design has to be the one that challenges and elicits learner thinking that goes beyond rote comprehension. Process or steps. A clear description of process or steps need to be go through is outlined. This is where the learners locate, analyze, synthesize and collaborate with other learners, complete the task. They need to know exactly where they are in each step and what to do next. Resources. Since the webquest is itself online, so the resources involved in a webquest activity are generally web-based. However, these resources can be available in the print or video form. Evaluation. Rubrics can be used for the purpose of evaluation. The criteria used in evaluation should be such that the responses are clear, consistent and specific to the task set. Conclusion. This section of the webquest provides an opportunity to the learners to reflect on what they have learned and perhaps encourage them to extend their experiences to other domains. This flowchart may help you to give a glimpse of the components of webquest. This template will help you understand that how the different components of a webquest should be returned for students or intended audience. A template also helps you to quickly design a webquest. Introduction. This document should be returned with the student as intended audience. Write a short paragraph here to introduce the activity or the lesson to the students. If there is a role or scenario involved, example, you are a detective trying to identify the mysterious poet, then here is where you will set the stage. If there is no motivational intro like that, use this section to provide an overview. Remember that the purpose of this section is to both prepare and hook the reader. Let us have a look at an example. The task. Describe crisply and clearly what the end result of the learner's activities will be. The task could be a problem or mystery to be solved, position to be formulated and defended, product to be designed, complexity to be analyzed, personal insight to be articulated, summary to be created, persuasive message or journalistic account to be crafted, a creative work or anything that requires learner to process and transform the information they have gathered. If the final product involves using some tool, example, HyperStudio, the web or the video, mention it here. Let us have a look at an example. The process. To accomplish the task, what steps the learners go through. Describing this section well will help other teachers to see how your lesson flows and how they might adapt it for their own use. So, the more detail and care you put into this, the better. Remember that this whole document is addressed to the student, however, to describe the steps using the second person. If you break learners into groups, embed the links that each group will look at within the description of that stage of the process. Let us have a look at an example. Evaluation. Describe to the learners how their performance will be evaluated. Specify whether there will be a common grade for group work versus individual grades. A rubric like this can be used for the purpose of evaluation. Let us have a look at an example. Conclusion. Put a couple of sentences here that summarizes what they will have accomplished or learned by completing this activity or lesson. You could also include some rhetorical questions or additional links to encourage them to extend their thinking into the other content beyond this lesson. Let us have a look at an example. In order to understand the relationship between the various building blocks of the webquest and how they function as a whole, you are advised you can find the sample webquest on the various webquest portals listed in the reference section.